And also those who are on TikTok, wherever you're listening from, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Make sure you're following the YouTube channel as well, all right? Good evening to you, moderators. Renee and Ronnie. Good evening to you, Shay, Jackie G, Dorothy. Everybody else, all right? Love a crowd, all right? So, hey, we're going to have a conversation today. I think it's going to be a good one. This one I need to hear from myself, and then also I think I could share it with you as well if you don't mind. I want to share it with you as well. Thank you, Shay. So take a second and go ahead and share the link and get some people in here. Let's talk about the conversation, all right? Hello, Michelle. Culver Girl. Joanne Wimmer, Betty Thompson, and everybody else that's joining. So I'm going to go ahead and start this conversation. Hopefully y'all are doing well. And check in with me. Let me know you're doing good, all right? So I want to have a conversation today. Happy Tuesday evening. Welcome to the Rich Live Show. If this is your first time, I'm all about positivity. My title is I am a strategist. I am a life and business strategist. Some people will call me coach, but I'm more of a strategist, which is, identifying things, appealing to the emotion of it and then providing solutions and strategies to overcome. So go ahead and share the link and let everybody know that I'm here, that we're on. And shout out to those folks that are on the website and YouTube, wherever you're listening from. So I wanted to speak about detoxing emotionally. Hey, Chill Lil, how you doing? So the conversation I want to talk about is detoxing emotionally detoxing. And I'm going to kind of delve into why it's important to detox emotionally and psychologically and mentally. And then we're going to get some steps on how to detox. And I think a lot of us walk around with so much luggage and so much resentment and pain and hurt and guilt and anger because we're not detoxing daily. We should be detoxing daily. Download the good part of your day and detox the rest of the good stuff. The bad stuff. Detox the bad stuff. Why is that important? Because, I believe that the only thing that we really, really, really fear is the future. I think, as I dive into this conversation, I believe a lot of us got it confused. A lot of us are really, really, really afraid of the past. And the past has already occurred and it cannot hurt us. We just need to identify what occurred in the past, right? So you can only feel, and I want you to take notes, get something to write with. This is some good stuff. You can only feel what has already occurred. You can only feel your past. You can only feel what has already occurred. You cannot feel the future. You can envision the future. You can kind of predict the future, if you will. You can fear the future. But most people don't fear their past because the past has already occurred. But we live in the trauma of the past, and our feelings are connected to what has already occurred. So if there's trauma, if there's anything that you may have been through, losing a loved one, hurt, whatever kind of trauma you've been through, a lot of times we're carrying the feelings from the past. We cannot feel the future. Typically, we fear the future. And this is why detoxing every day is so important. So I don't want to lose anybody in this conversation. It's going to be pretty deep. So now that I've identified that I believe that you cannot feel tomorrow because tomorrow has not occurred. so you can anticipate tomorrow. You can fear tomorrow, but you cannot feel it. Speaking about feelings, these are things that have already occurred that we are latched onto. And most often, those feelings have already passed, but we continue to hold on to them. And I think detoxing is one of the biggest methods that we can take to relinquish some of the pain from the past. And why this is important, because it hinders and delays and slows down our future. We have work to do, folks. We have places to go, things to do. We got to get back up and stop feeling bad about what already occurred. We can't do nothing about the past. We can't rewrite history. I don't care how many times we try. We cannot rewrite what have already occurred. It is what it is, if you're going to tell the truth. So, is this making sense to y'all? I don't want to be talking to myself. Let me see. How you doing, Mr. Campbell? Hey, Ronnie and everybody else that's on MSC. Yes. So, the whole catalyst of the conversation is how to detox all of your emotions from your daily activity, good, bad, or indifferent. A lot of us are not detoxing. We're busy throughout the day. Things are happening. Sometimes we getting into it with folks. Sometimes we're receiving, controversial news and things of that nature. We're watching the news. We're watching what's happening in this year's election. We're watching what's happening with our leaders. And we're going to sleep without detoxing. And we're waking up. And if you're a math teacher, you're carrying over the additional stuff from the previous day. Okay? Can anybody relate to what I'm saying? I know somebody was going to be able to relate. How you doing, Joanne? It makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Dog had a doctor. She said, I went through the process of detoxing repeatedly. I think you should detox daily emotionally. I really do believe that you should detox emotionally every day. Because at some point throughout your travel, you've received some information via the news. Maybe you drove past a crash. Maybe you saw something. Maybe someone said something. Maybe something came into your head. Maybe you remembered something traumatic from your past. Maybe you just thought or was reminded of a loved one that's no longer with you. At some point, you have to detox, because this stuff accumulates and it causes other stress. And I'm a firm believer that, we genetically modify our lives based on our behavior. Okay, that's pretty deep, Rich. What do you mean by that? Genetically, I believe you can genetically modify your body and your mind and your heart to respond physically based on how you see things mentally. So what am I talking about? We're talking about mindset. But it's just like a computer. When you defrag a computer, defragging meaning just take out all the mess that we're not using anymore and kind of get rid of all those searches that we're no longer searching, and it keeps the computer from slowing down. But when you defrag is like it's a computer term for detoxifying. When you detox yourself, you get better results. You can move faster. You can think faster. And you can genetically modify yourself to think different, and your body will respond different. So if you're feeling ill or you have some ailments that you're dealing with, a lot of times you can genetically modify your response to it, and then physically, it will follow suit. I know this is deep, so y'all slow me down if I'm going too fast. Dog had a doctor said, I lost my son to cancer, and for years I couldn't move forward. And this is what I mean. Detoxifying doesn't mean forgetting. It's just basically making a choice to get rid of the things and the mindset that hurts us. Hurt causes delay. Hurt and pain is what causes us to have struggles of getting out the bed, of moving forward. So we can literally genetically or mentally modify our way of thinking by choosing to look at the positive as opposed to focusing on the negative. This is how we modify. And when you start looking at the positive as opposed to focusing on the negative, you begin to modify your mindset. You begin to modify your way of thinking, and then your body begins to adapt genetically to what you're feeding it. All right. So I know I'm saying a lot. I'm dropping a lot of gems, and a lot of us have problems moving forward in life because we're not detoxifying ourselves from past experiences. A lot of us fear starting businesses, fear exercising. A lot of us are not doing what we can do in the future because of the history that we've adapted from the past. The trauma, the pain. So we anticipate that things will be bad. I give you an example like exercising and running and losing weight and dieting, whatever you want to call it, or eating healthy or whatever it is. A lot of us don't get started on things that we really want to do with our lives because we've genetically modified ourselves to believe that it's difficult, that it's hard, that it's almost impossible, that we require so much to get there. And this is what I was saying about the future. How can you feel the future if the future has not occurred? You can only feel something that has happened or is currently happening. So why are we afraid of doing the things that we should do? Why are you afraid of getting on the track? Why are you afraid of going to the gym? Why are you afraid of starting your business? Why are you afraid of challenging yourself to find a different group of people to be part of your community? What are you feeling? Because you can't be feeling something that didn't tangibly happen at this point. So those feelings are derivative from what has already occurred that you're bringing into the future. Think about this. Most of us are afraid of a roller coaster because we are watching it from afar. And we're not feeling the roller coaster, but we're afraid if we're going to get on it because we're thinking about the future, but we really don't have any feelings. These are like pseudo feelings. Like, there are people that are literally sick because they think they are. You can will yourself to live, and you can also will yourself to die. We feel pseudo pain that may not exist because we so much believe that we can feel what has not occurred. A lot of us can identify with this as anxiety. Anxiety is kind of like the same thing. It's the potential of what could happen, but not what has already occurred. And this is what I believe calls anxiety. It's the fear of something happening that has not occurred. All right, let me read some of these comments. Let me read some of these. How you doing, Deborah? Good to see you. She said, I don't know if this was part of my detox, but I would get signs from him letting me know he was okay. I'm not sure. You know what? We can get some of these pastors on here. That's a I'm good that you can still connect with your son. I don't know if that's part of the detox, but it's your perception on how you choose to receive the information of remembering your son that passed away. So if it's in a good light that you're remembering him and not remembering the tragedy of what may have taken his life, that's a good way of detoxing from the pain so that it doesn't hinder our future. Is that making sense? Hello, Lady CK. Yeah, it sounds like you still grieving, dog. Had a doctor. I don't want to be remissive of your pain, but it seems like you may still be mourning, and that happens for a long time. Happens for a long time. So you can't rush. You can't rush the process. You just have to surround yourself around a body of people that can really relate to some of your experiences and find some groups and things of that nature. But definitely what you're feeling and your fear as it relates to your son, no, the fear no longer exists. You're dealing with the feelings from the past. You're dealing with the feelings from the past. But we can't feel the future because the future hasn't occurred yet. And this is why it's important for us to move on. Not without, with good memories. Hi, Carolyn. Carolyn say, Rich, you're absolutely correct. We have empty our brains often because of all of the, I didn't see the rest of it. Yeah, so if you would purge every night at the end of the day, if you would take some time to detoxify yourself from all the carnage that occurred throughout your day, then it helps make room and space for innovation, for healing. It leaves room for, anticipation of positivity. But if you're not defragging, if you're not detoxing, it's hard because you're taking a lot of that luggage from Monday to Tuesday, and now you have Monday and Tuesdays non-detoxification that you take it into Wednesday. So by Friday, you have a week's worth of, luggage that you have to try to find a way to detox. And detox is not necessarily, going out to party to happy hour. That's not detoxing. Detoxing is basically going inside your brain, going inside your mind, going inside your heart, and getting rid of everything that may still be there so that you can be prepared for the next moment, so that you can enjoy the goodness of what's ahead. So detoxing the old feelings of what occurred today, yesterday, last week. So those arguments and grudges that we hold on to, that is not a sign of detoxifying. If you're still angry with someone, you haven't detoxified yourself. So therefore, you're carrying something into something new. Hey, Veronica, how you doing? Is this relatable to you? So the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of us are still stuck in the past. And we got so much work to do. We have so many things to accomplish, and we don't want to stay right here because we cannot identify what holds us back because we haven't mastered the methodology of moving forward. And I'm telling you, it's good to be able to move forward, understanding that you cannot feel tomorrow. You cannot feel your future. So why fear it? Why be afraid of the future if it has no feelings yet? It has not existed. If you go to the doctor and you got a shot, a lot of us have pseudo pain And the needle hasn't even got in. A lot of us have white coat syndrome, and our blood pressures are up the minute we walk into the doctor's office, because we have this sensationalism of believing we know what this feels like, and nothing has actually occurred. So this is why they call it the white coat syndrome, right? No one stuck you with a needle. You just in the lobby. They just taking your blood pressure, and it's through the roof, and you about to faint, and they can't release you, and then nobody did nothing to you. You cannot feel what has not occurred. That's right. Carolyn say, Rich, if we hold on to the past, we cannot move on. Actually, we do move on. We cannot. You're right, Carolyn. Thanks for your comment. I appreciate that. I'm going to agree with you, but then I'm going to also add that if we hold on to the past, we can move to the future. Not necessarily well. See, if you're holding on to the past, you still getting old. Every day you wake up, you getting a day older. Even if you still carrying the luggage, you still having birthdays. So for every birthday and every day that goes by, every birthday, you have that much luggage that you're carrying, which is making you heavier and making your back bend and your knees weak, because you're carrying so much psychologically, you're carrying so much mentally, you're carrying so much emotionally. Take the time to purge, take the time to detox, so that you don't go on those people's job and be frustrated with them. Anybody got a job they don't like? If you got a job you don't like, it's because you're somewhere where you probably are not exercising your gift, right? But in order to get from that place to where you really want to be, if you detoxed every day, then your attitude would change, and it will create more space for you to find more opportunities, or at least have the energy. But by not detoxing, when you get home, if you're in a bad relationship, when you get home, if you're in a job that you don't like and they're overworking you, when you get home and you don't detox, then you're stuck in bed. And then you're in this situation where you're paralyzed by your future fears of things that have not occurred yet. And you're only dealing with your feelings from previous situations. Come on, talk to me. How you doing, Robin? Hey, Cammy. So listen, if you got questions, ask them. I would love to answer some of the questions, but I'm speaking from my own existence. I'm speaking from my own life. Everything that I've feared never caused me any pain because it didn't even happen yet. So we cannot feel the future. So therefore, most often we fear the future. That makes sense? You feel what has already occurred. So I'm going to give you some nuggets, right? Start monitoring your response. Your response to things tell you subliminally who you really are. I'm going to say that again. Your response to things, to people, to situations and circumstances tells you exactly who you are. So I'm going to challenge us to start monitoring the way that we respond. If someone says something negative to you, if your response is whatever, your body psychologically and physiologically begin to respond to the whatever. You get what I'm saying? How you respond to people, how you react, what you allow in, what you feed, what you respond to, how you navigate to or through something often dictates how your body chemically begin to assess it. Think about that. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? Yeah, so make sure you tap in and sharing the link. But I thought this was a good conversation because I was over the last couple of weeks, I was like, okay, sometimes I'm being a little repetitive in my conversations, but I think a lot of that repetitiveness is coming from the fact that a lot of people are still stuck in their history. A lot of people are stuck in their past, and they're stuck in their feelings, and they're not emotionally detoxifying themselves. And in order to get to the next level, in order to move past whatever it is that we're dealing with, to get up out of bed, to be able to move, to not be, grudgeful when we're going to work and we may not like our jobs or whatever the case that we're going through, a lot of that is because we haven't defragged, we haven't detoxified. Every now and then you got to do a good cleansing. Anybody can relate? Every now and then you got to do a good detoxification. I'm talking to somebody. So I'm going to talk about family for a minute. And I'm going to give you some facts. Listen, a lot of us have toxic family relationships. A lot of us have toxic personal relationships. A lot of us have so much toxicity in our lives. And we were raised on this blood is thicker than water syndrome. So that basically says to us, continue to make room for toxicity. You've got to defrag. You've got to get rid. You got to detox. Because you don't get to choose your family. You don't get to choose the people that are related to you. So when they're toxic, you hear things like, but that's still your mother. But that's still your father. That's still your sister. That's still your brother. Y'all still family. And see, especially for the African American households, we were born and raised and bred to believe that is still. So regardless of how much toxicity that it puts into my system, my brain, my state of mind, I have to continue to endure because they taught me that blood is more important than anything else. If anybody's on dialysis, we know that even blood needs to be detoxified. And this is why they clean it in dialysis. So ask yourself, what kind of toxic do you have in your life? They're not getting rid of the blood. They're cleansing it and putting it back. What's running through your life that needs to be cleansed and put back, or cleansed and left out? Think about that. Hopefully I'm helping somebody. Hopefully I'm helping somebody. See, we have to understand that, anything toxic for a long period of time becomes cancerous. And we know the story of cancer because it spreads, and it's just not a good thing. But it starts from negative toxins that are in our body. See, we were not really meant to ingest so many toxic relationships and so many toxic situations. A lot of us, we're just not built for that. But we genetically modified ourselves to be able to deal with it because someone told us we should. You should stay married. You should stay in this situation. Girl, work it out. Work through it. You know what I'm saying? So we're raised on that society of stay in the toxic and then live better with toxic. It is hard to have a healthy heart, a healthy liver, a healthy pancreas, a healthy body, a healthy life if you feel like I got to keep the toxic in it. No, it's killing you. So you can stop right now today with the toxicity in your life and understand that all the pain that it caused you, it can't cause you any more pain tomorrow because tomorrow don't exist. It's only causing you pain from the past. So once we know how to manage our past, our future gets brighter because we can move forward without any more toxic. I guess you say, Doc said, I don't believe that. I take a truthful approach to family. Some don't bother me because of, yeah, okay, that's good. So self care, part of self care is detoxifying yourself on a daily basis, purging, downloading the data from your day, understanding that you do not, this is not carry one over. Take days as individuals. And if you have enough good ones, then it'll be a great year. But understand that every day has to be a single day. We can't deal with tomorrow until we get through today. So we get through today, we make it home from our prospective places, kind of detoxify what's negative, and this will alleviate all the toxins. You know, I see so many people walking around angry. You go to a restaurant or you go to a store, you go and people act like they hate their jobs. They act like they hate their lives. They act like they're just miserable people. And I know that these people are toxic because something's going on in their life that they're not getting rid of. And now I have to deal with it. Hey, Bruni said, write the strongholds an eviction letter and set yourself free of it. Wow, you sound like a counselor. That is a good thing. So Kathy says, that's good advice, Bruni. Thank you. What if the toxic person is your own adult child? It applies to everything and everybody. How do you deal with that? You detoxify yourself. The key word, Kathy has an adult child or is alluding to someone that has an adult child that is toxic. You treat them like dialysis. That's it. I don't care if they're related or not related. Listen, you have a choice to make. People that intoxicate other people, like DUIs, right? It's the intoxicated people that almost always live. It's the sober people that get significantly injured or pass away. So at some point, Kathy, you got to make a choice. Are you going to live your best life or allow their toxicity to hinder your future and limit the amount of time that you're going to have on this planet? I know you gave birth, but sometimes by detoxifying the situation in yourself, you may be forcing them to change their ways. Put them in a no option situation. And I know that's going to be hard because that's your own child. But at the end of the day, you use the word adult. So if you raise that child with good values, good principles, a lot of times they don't apply them because it's not necessarily a requirement. so you can detoxify yourself. Just like dialysis, he's still your child, but get rid of all. And I know some of us can relate. Like, you ever had friends that your parents didn't care for? They couldn't stop you from being friends, but they'll say they not coming to this house. They're not coming to, you better not let me see. See, that's that self-care. So listen, we need the blood. We need the blood. We need to live. We need our body parts and our organs, but they don't need to be toxic. We can clean them and still survive. Period. Boy, you nothing to play with, dog. Had a doctor say I drop him like a dime on my son. He wasn't raised that way. See, you know what? Strong people, and don't take this personal because this applies to me too. Strong people raise weak children. I'm going to say it again. Strong people raise weak children. I'm going to tell you why. Because strong people typically are birthed from struggle. I'm going to say it again. We that are strong, that provide stable environments and raise kids to be wonderful people, often produce weak fruit. Why? Because we take the struggle out of the feeding process. We give power where it should be earned. So this create weak people because they don't have to plow through life the way that you had to. But you did this so that they didn't have to. And the fact that they didn't have to created a weaker environment because there's no struggle. There's nothing for them to fight because it's given. See, we come from a world, my baby boomers, Generation X, we come from a world where we had to win an award. Now awards are given for showing up. Now every kid gets a standardized award for just being alive. I'm talking to somebody. So Cam say it's about finding peace and happiness within yourself. You're absolutely right. Veronica say why? Wow. Yeah, so this is true. I believe that strong people produce weak fruit. And I think what happens when you create weak fruit, then in lieu of the fruit that you bear taking care of you in your elderly age, you're still taking care of the fruit. So then, stay with me, because strong person like you produced a weak fruit. Now that weak fruit will be weak, and then their kids would have to be strong because their weak will create a struggle for their generation, creating a strong generation. So basically, in my opinion, every other generation will be extremely successful, but every generation in between will be extremely weak. So for every successful generation, I give you an example. Let's take LeBron James. Came from struggle, hardship, pain, the hood. He had to play his life out of his community. He had to play for his life. He had to play to buy his mama a house, to get him out the hood. Struggle. Then he produced Bronny. Bronny has no idea what that looks like. I'm not saying he's not a great athlete, but I'm saying I don't think he could be LeBron James because LeBron James was playing for his life. His son is playing as an option. Strong people produce weak fruit. And then the next generation will be stronger. And then the next one will be weaker. And then the next one will be stronger. Listen, this is just my opinion. This is my opinion. How, Lady CK's, we don't let them experience the things in life that they need to experience. Yes, because we know what that felt like and we don't want to see them experience it. So we prevent it and we pay for it and we nurture it. And therefore, they have absolutely zero conflict resolution skills, zero coping skills. See, the era where I came from, your lights went off as a child. It was fun. Lights go off, man. We'll get a match. Let's light some candles. Let's play some cards, right? So for my generation, Generation X, baby boomers, lights went out. We had fun. This generation, internet goes out. They need counseling. Let there be no Wi-Fi in the world for 1 hour. And watch how many crisis units at the hospital, watch how their count go up. They cannot cope without internet. And we used to have to go without lights and had fun. Come on now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, listen, not to get too far off the topic, but the reason for this conversation was for us to understand that your past has already occurred. And the only feelings that we're feeling is a derivative from what has already occurred. The future can't be painful. You don't even know if it feels good because it's not tangible. You haven't touched tomorrow yet. So don't be afraid of tomorrow. Take the chance. Take the risk. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to ask you a question. Be honest with me. Since we all family, we all friends. How you doing, Eberhard? Shout out to everybody on the MSC network over there. I got a question. Be honest with me since we all fam. How many of us have given their all to someone? Be honest with me. Has anybody ever given their all to someone? I just want to see how many honest people in the chat. I'm going somewhere with this. Has anybody, how you doing, Lynn? Lynn's honest. Anybody has ever given their all to someone? And there's a follow-up question. Just waiting on those answers to come in. Has anybody ever given their all to someone? How you doing, Miss Freeman? Silver Fox, Evelyn, everybody that's on the internet, Lena, and everybody that's on the radio station. So while y'all answering, I'm going to go through these answers in a second. I just got a question. Thank y'all for being honest. So for everybody that said, let me see how many people said yes. Campbell, Lynn, Bruni, all you folks. Renee, Dorothy, Loretta, all these folks. I know Miss Freeman and Evelyn and Sharon, prolifically, with reason. Lady CK, yes. Yeah. So the reason I asked that question is, have you ever given your all to yourself? I think Kathy said it best. We were raised to be selfless, to put others first. We were raised to give our all to others. But have you ever given your all to yourself? If not, why? Have you ever bet everything on you? The best risk of loss is to bet it all on you. But so many of us have bet and invested all into someone else and have gotten zero returns or very little returns on your investment. I don't know anybody on this planet, me personally, that has gave it all for themselves. Think about that. Why are you willing to take risk and gamble for other people and sacrifice for those who would not do the same for you? Some of us have grown children that are in their 20s, 30s, and even 40s that we're still sacrificing for. And I don't know. I do not know. So I'm just curious as to what is it about yourself that don't make you feel like you should invest it all or risk it all on yourself. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, so ask the questions, but I thought this was a prevalent conversation just for us to go ahead and start detoxing whatever old stuff that we have. Let's detox. Whatever happened today, earlier, if it was bad, if it's something you don't need, detox every day. Get into the habit of detoxing. And I'm going somewhere with this conversation because then next week I'll have another challenge for us to do. But listen, if you got to go back 20 years and detox that old relationship, detox. It's not helping. It's toxic. And I don't care if it's a relationship with a family member, a friend, a coworker, a job. If you hate your job, the minute you walk out the building, start detoxing. You'll feel better the next day. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, hey, good evening, CK lady. CK, thanks for your comments. Carolyn said, Rich, you're I'm stepping on your toes. Listen, all the stuff that we carrying, Carolyn and everybody else, listen, I can't see it. You know what I'm saying? People cannot see it. People cannot see it. But you're carrying it very well on the outside. But if you tox it on the inside, because people have been violating you, using you, abusing you, taking advantage of you, mistreating you, causing you to have a toxic system. You could walk around here like you are not bothered by it and know We won't see it, but you're feeling it. And at some point, if you walk around here long enough with old toxic relationships, guess what? At some point, something's going to happen. This is why it's important to defrag. This is why it's important to let go some stuff every day. Can you relate? You're welcome, Michelle. See, when we holding on to the past, it's hard for the future to exist. And a lot of us are not stepping into our calling because we're letting the future be hindered by the past, because we're not detoxing. We're holding on to our past failures. We're holding on to things that have already occurred. But there's a brighter future ahead of you, and you're afraid of it. But tomorrow's not going to cause you any pain because it hasn't even occurred yet. But the pain that you're feeling, I guarantee you, pain can only be felt by something that is occurring or have already occurred. Tomorrow doesn't hurt because we haven't made it there today. Let's get through today. Dog had a doctor said I did some spring cleaning. Loretta said true. I appreciate your encouragement. You're welcome, Jackie G. Hello, Tori. How are you? So listen, hey, I got a few more minutes. Ask questions if you have questions. I'm going to post this for those of you that may be on the website or following me on YouTube. All right. So listen, answer question. I will answer your question as honestly as possible, but just understand that you got to detox regardless of what it is, where you come from and where you're going. Don't take your toxic self into a clean environment and be upset that it don't work out in your favor because you're toxic. And a lot of you are toxic and not willing to admit that you're toxic, that you've been contaminated by foolishness, by guilt, pain, shame. Forgive you and forgive yourself, forgive others. Just do it for tomorrow so we can let go today. All right. Loretta said, how do I start detoxing with me? Good question. The way that you detox with yourself is you do a self-audit. You do a self-audit. I was telling somebody the other day, the way that I deal with circumstances and situations is they ask me, how do you handle things so well? Because I always look at me as being the problem. Like, when someone does something to me, I don't say that person did something to me. I'm doing a self-audit. How did I allow this to happen? See, that makes me better. See, if I'm blaming you and saying you did this to me, I'm not making myself better. I'm just arguing a point. But in order for that to not happen to me, again, I have to do a self-audit and say, what am I doing to allow this toxicity in my life? What am I doing or what am I not doing? So start doing an audit, even if it's daily. I suggest detox every day and do a quick audit of yourself. What could I have done better? How could I have prevented this argument? How am I letting myself down? Why am I late for work? You know what I'm saying? Why is my blood pressure up? Some of us are following the same system that has been breaking us for years and still telling ourselves that I'm going to change. Do a self audit. That's how you start detoxing. Self audit. What you don't need. Just to put it in your brain, if you got a closet that you need to clean, same way you would clean that closet. You throw away what you don't need and you reorganize. Could you make more room for success? You make more room for happiness. See, a lot of us, happiness is chasing us, but ain't no room for it because ain't no space. Y'all too bitter. You're too angry. You still hold on to all that toxicity. Happiness requires room. It needs to live somewhere. And you holding on to all that carnage, all that bad luggage, all that past and that trauma. There's no space for happiness. You want to be happy. You want to be fulfilled. You want to be success. Listen, you got to make room for it. Detox, audit, purge, prune, do what you have to do. But listen, you're only one person. There's only one life. Everybody gets the exact amount of time per day. We all get 24 hours. And the moral of the story is, if I'm allowing toxic in during those 24 hours, there's no way happiness could reside because I have not left any room for it. So we have to make room for the things that we desire by auditing the things that we don't. Do a self-audit as frequently as possible. There's only 24 hours in the day. Only so much can come in and only so much can go out. But an audit could tell you where you're allocating all your precious cargo, all your precious time, to who and what is it worth to you. If you've given all your time, I mean, hypothetically, if you have a child that's always in jail, always in trouble, always need to be bailed out, and this is where your energy is going, this is why your life may be where it is. Do an audit, and it will, I guarantee you, it will change your life if you do a self-audit and detoxify daily. You'll feel so good within a 7-day period. You'll realize how much waste and how much time people are wasting of your life and how much unnecessary energy is being spent on unnecessary things. Let it go. Let them go. Don't hold on to things that has no value in your life. Let it go. So Leslie say, how do you detoxify? So hopefully I answered that question. So yeah, how do you detoxify your emotions, your mental health? Basically by just doing an audit, thinking about what you're doing and what you may be doing to cause these things. See, we spend a lot of energy in arguments, improving our points to other people and trying to get our point across. I'm just going to ask you to reverse engineer that and be mindful of how you respond to people. See, what I do sometimes, I don't even respond to them. See, when you do something to me, I may not have to respond. You follow what I'm saying? Because what I'm doing is I'm looking inside and saying, Richard, you got to do better. That person has to go. They need to be edited out of my life so that it doesn't happen again. Why you see, things have happened to me recently. A lot of things happen to me. Yeah, you guys will never know. You know why? Because of the way that I choose to handle things. Sometimes it's by not handling things. I don't handle people. I have a staff, right? I don't handle them. I allow them to handle themselves. I always look at me, not them. So when someone does something wrong on my team, I don't necessarily look at them. I'm saying they're doing it because I'm allowing it. How do I not allow it? This is how we detoxify. We do an audit. We look at what we're doing that makes no sense. The time that we're spending makes no sense. The energy where we're spending it that makes no sense. And the resources that we're spending that makes no sense. And then we just simply stop. So if something is causing you to run late for work, that's your fault. An audit could correct your bad behavior. Detoxifying your current or previous relationship can help you for the future one. So you'll be a bad girlfriend. You'll be a horrible future wife if you're not detoxifying your past relationship. Sometimes you need to detoxify your relationship while you're in it. So when it ends, if it ends, then you're a better person for the next person. Emotional intelligence is key. That's right, Bruni. But that's what this conversation is about. Emotional detoxification. And the way to do that is understand that the feelings come from the past and the fear typically is for the future. The future cannot harm you because you haven't made it there yet. Give yourself a chance. Emotionally detoxify and do self-audits daily. I guarantee you, in 7 days, you'll be thanking me. You'll realize where your waste is. You'll realize and stop responding to everybody. Stop responding to everything. See, that's a waste of energy. Respond to you, not them. All right, Lady CK said I'm going to do it. It works. Make sure you respond to yourself first. That's real self-care. So you do something to me, I'm like, oh my God, how did I allow her to do this or him to do this? Oh no. Most people want to attack and fight. I'm like, no, I'm going to kill you in a different way. I'm strategic, remember. I'm a strategist. I don't want to get dirty. So detoxify wherever you are. Think about what's not right. Get it out your system. Get it out your life. And if you can't get it out your life, get it out your mind. Get it out your heart. Do an audit. Look at where your day is going, where your time is being spent. If you're on the phone with somebody that's constantly asking you for advice and constantly bringing their problems to you and they're not changing, don't try to check them. Check you. Because that's your platform. You're allowing them to suck you dry from every positive emotion that you have. Energy never dies, negative or positive. It just transfers. And right now, if you're feeling negative and you have negative energy, it's because somebody gave it to you. Give it back. Detoxify. Purge. Period. Stop wasting time with people that's not going to change. You can't get that time back. You can buy a watch, but you can't buy time. You know what I'm saying? You can buy eyeglasses, you can get contacts, but the vision comes from the mind and the heart. So prospectively understand how this thing called life, how it actually works. Get out of your feelings. Get out of your way. Stop hindering yourself and stop bringing your past into your future. Your future deserves a clean start. So before you try to make it into tomorrow, detoxify today. You want to guarantee yourself a better day tomorrow? Go in it clean and sober. Period. A lot of us have these drunken spirits because we toxic and we're wobbling into our tomorrow, wondering why life is not changing. You're drunk. You're inebriated. Hopefully I'm helping somebody. That's right. Dog had a doctor say, I don't have time to waste. All right. So listen, I appreciate you guys. I love you. It's been a great conversation. Hopefully you guys are walking away with some gems. Make sure you follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever I'm at. Moderators, tell them where I'm at. I don't know. I love my moderators. They keep me on point. You're welcome, Veronica. If I miss your name, listen, know that I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Make sure that you are coming back each and every Tuesday and Saturday. Tomorrow, listen, we have another brand new radio personality that's going to be really killing it. I'm so proud of this lady. Lady CK will be on tomorrow on the website from 7, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, starting 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. She's beautiful. She's amazing, got a great spirit, great soul. She's a great radio personality. I want to welcome her, but please do me a favor. If y'all listening right now, make sure you mark your calendars to listen to Lady CK tomorrow, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on the MSE Network. I'm not the only one that's doing great things here. I'm backed up by so many other people. Go to the website, you'll see what I'm talking about. But we all are about positivity, and we're all about growth and having the right mindset. That's the requirements to be a part of this network. What are you a part of? Be a part of this network. Make sure, even if you're not a part of this network, I want you to join, but hey, it's absolutely free. Why not? Make sure you look around your table. Somebody was talking about ants all over the place. This is the season for like black ants and gnats and all of that stuff. That's a sign that something don't belong is bringing that festation. Look at your life. What's in the way? All right. So let's fix things. We got work to do, folks. And the only way to get it done is we got to make room. So what this conversation about today was for you to clean your closet so that you can make space for some great things. Let's make room for it. We are only one person. We can only receive so much, right? So let's make space, as much space as we could, for greatness, for opportunities, for surprises, for bonuses, for great things. Let's make room for it. But if you feel and you got all these negative, nasty bags in your hand, you can't carry nothing good. So put all that bad stuff down. Start tonight. Think about it. Audit, detox, and don't be afraid of the future, because the past have already hurt you. The future has no feelings. It has to happen first. So let's focus on the future by detoxing and self-auditing. All right. Thanks, Campbell, and everybody else. Listen, it's been a great conversation. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Until the next time, make sure you share this on YouTube with somebody that needs it. I know somebody needs it. All right. Have a good one. All right. Love you.
I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood, living in the present, not what I shoulda or could. I remember back when I was low as a rug. Now I'm standing up, look at what my father does, turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church say, yeah, won't he do it? I know he's got my back. That's why I'm singing that I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. It's a good.
Shout out to my first time listeners.
Everything I pray.
Thanks for coming by, Leslie. Have a good evening, Carolyn, Mr. Campbell, everybody. Be blessed.
Turning all things new, gray skies blue.
Won't he do it?
The church saying, won't he do it? I know
Yeah.
my bad.
Yes.
That's why I'm singing that I'm about to have a good day.
Have a blessed evening, everybody. I got to start that over. Make sure y'all sharing the link and following me. Turn on your alerts so you know when I hop on, all right? Have a good rest of the evening. Love you.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood, living in the present, not what I shoulda or could. I remember back when I was low as a rug. Now I'm standing up, look at what my father does, turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church say, yeah, won't he do it? I know he's got my back. That's why I'm singing that I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. It's a good day, no, it's great. Everything I prayed for didn't come in late. I got all I need and I didn't have to wait. Ask me if you love me, you didn't hesitate. Turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church saying, won't he do it? I know he's got my back. That's why I'm singing that I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. Sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day. In every single way. God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. It's a good